You're listening to the Teach Better Talk podcast featuring expert educators eager to share progressive tactics to reach more students. Teach Better Talk is created by teachers and fueled by passion. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 252 of Teach Better Talk. My name is Ray Hewart, and as always, I am with the Jeffrey Gargis. And Jeff, our entire audience wants to know, what'd you get me for my birthday, buddy?
Because
you know, this was a big birthday, and I just
a
feel
big
like
birthday for you.
When this episode comes out, I will be older. And I hope that it means that you got me a very, very expensive gift, like a vacation, a brand new car, a dream house.
I mean,
I can't wait to see.
I guess kind of a vacation, if you want to look at it that way.
I don't think so.
I thought you were going to say that you're going to be older and hopefully wiser. And I was going to say,
I'll
well,
be
that's
wiser.
your gift. I've helped you become wiser. Like, you're welcome.
That was good. That was good.
No, I don't know. Like, we're recording this. I'm still in the process of what I could possibly get you for your birthday. I do know of some things happening that you don't know about, which is fun because this is going to come out after those things happen because your birthday will be a couple days ago. But
okay, let's preface for our listeners. We don't actually do things for our birthday, so this was just me being goofy. Jeff's making everything up right now.
No, actually, I'm not.
What do you mean? No, you're not.
I'm not making everything up. I love this right now because I know something that's happening that you don't know about, and that makes me excited. No, actually, it was probably 2 weeks ago. I'm not even joking with this either. I texted Chad. I said, "Hey, Ray's 30th is coming up. Like, we should probably do something." And he's like,
"No, you should not."
He's like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "I don't know." And he's like, "Oh, well, I don't know either." And then that's where we left it. Like,
that's perfect.
That's
Leave it
exactly
there.
how it went.
Leave it there.
And I'm like, and I'm thinking, maybe we'll just get in the car, we'll drive, and we'll just knock on her door, and we'll just be there.
Ooh.
But then I had this thought, I'm like, okay, well, that could be really cool. But then we get there, and I picture us open the door, and you're like, whoa, I'm totally busy today. Like, this can't be, you guys can't be here right now. And it'll just be like, or we get there and you're in Chicago or something visiting your parents.
True.
And we're just knocking on the door and no one's there. And so I decided that instead of that, we're just going to forget about it.
Good idea. Yeah, I'm not a big birthday person. I actually only brought up my birthday because I wanted to make you feel bad that you didn't get me anything, not so you could get me something.
Yeah, but but you know that I already got you something. I don't know why you're acting like I'm the person who doesn't do stuff.
I don't believe in gifts. No,
you
keep
don't
it for
believe
yourself.
In gifts?
Spend your money on your beautiful family.
Don't you know that you're the gift that keeps on giving?
Oh, look at that goodness.
You don't believe in gifts.
We can share with our audience. I'm taking 2 weeks for some time away. So I will admit that you thankfully are letting me take the 2 weeks away. That's really sweet of you.
If we're being completely transparent, I'm pretty sure that's the gift to me. Actually, that's the complete opposite of a gift to me because it's going to be really hard for me not to bother you during those 2 weeks, but I'm going to try. I think my gift to you is going to be that I promise to make at least 2 days before I forget about you being away. Oh. And I'll go for 2 days.
That's not bad.
It might
2
be a
days
weekend,
out of 2 weeks. That's fine. Totally fine. It'll be great.
I'm good. All right, so there you go.
Jeff,
I got to figure it out. Good.
Yeah, well, aside from all the shenanigans, happy Monday, March 8th.
Yes, happy March.
How's, this is kind of an exciting month because we not only have the live grid method series going on, but actually starting tomorrow, Tuesday the 9th, just like always, second week of the month, we're doing that social media giveaway.
I know. So that's exciting. That's like a new 2021 thing.
It is.
This is the third one, and we're giving a whole bunch of stuff away. And we're giving more stuff away.
Are you guys seeing a trend? It's always the second month second week of the month. Sorry. Second week of the month. There is a Teach Better Team social media giveaway organized by an incredible social media team. Becky, Bella, Emily, Rachel, all the good people, incredible people. And they brainstormed a really special swag bundle. There we go. That was Harvey tuning
in again. He's super excited about that swag bundle.
He's so excited.
That's Harvey approved, everyone. Harvey approved. I love it.
Swag bundle
Chris,
is
keep
going
that
on.
In there. We're real people. I love that.
Oh my God.
Love those
swag
songs.
Bundle's going on.
All right, so two things. One is you said super special swag bundle. Are you able to share what's included in that swag bundle? And two, how the heck do I win it?
Okay, this one is really easy. So every month has different directions, Jeff.
That's what
this
I thought,
one
which is why
so
I don't know
stinking.
I remember one of them, and now I'm like, I don't know.
This is so easy. So if you're on Facebook, you have to go like the Teach Better team on Facebook, like the Facebook page. So easy, right?
Yeah.
You need to find a giveaway post, which, by the way, we're going to be sharing like the social media giveaway all the time. So just find one of the posts, and you need to share it to your own profile and tag the Teach Better team. So when you're sharing it, you can simply share it and tag the Teach Better team. Or if you write a little caption, it can be like, I hope I win the Teach Better team giveaway. Like whatever it is, share the post and you'll automatically be in the running to win the March giveaway. We are giving away a Teach Better team hoodie, a Teach Better team t-shirt, and a Teach Better team mug.
Wow.
And it's kind of like our classics bundle, right? It's like getting some Teach Better team swag.
Are these the like with the logo like that?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
With the logo in the front. It'll be
set.
beautiful. I know. You can pick your colors and then we'll send it to your house for our winner. And we're really excited. Those winners are usually announced the week after. So you'll find out super soon. The giveaway is only going on March 9th through the 11th. So if you are listening to this episode,
and sweet. Yeah,
it's literally short and sweet. Get
tomorrow,
to it. So
if you're listening to this on the 8th, yeah, like that's.
Yeah, so if you hear about this Friday, sorry, wait till next month. But it's only going on March 9th, 10th, and 11th. And you have your chance to win. I
love it. And if you happen to share, when you're sharing that post, if you happen to throw a hashtag Team Jeff in there, it does increase your chances of winning.
It does
so
not.
Definitely do that. It actually counts for 2 entries into the drawing.
Guys, I don't actually get any say in who wins, and neither does Jeff.
So really, yeah, I don't even know why we're here. All right, so that's awesome. I love that. I love that we're doing the giveaway stuff. That's every month, typically second week, and I love it. It's changes. It's a different type. It's different giveaway. It's like based off of different platforms. It's different directions. Like it changes every month, which is really cool.
So in January we gave away a one-on-one coffee, a Starbucks gift card, and a lifetime membership to the Academy. This past month we gave away a 6-book bundle of Teach Better team books that we just like threw a bunch together, wrapped a bow on it, and shipped that off to the winner. This month is a swag bundle, and I can just tell you the gifts just keep getting cooler. So I'm so excited for March. I'm so glad it's here. Make sure you go like us over on Facebook and share a giveaway post so you get entered to win.
I love it. All right, let's get into this episode. Michelle Kasun she's a K-12 teacher, and she talks to us like a pretty small district, small school. She's taught preschool before. She was the assistant director at a kindergarten for a few years as well. She is also a very proud Teach Better ambassador. But I love her situation. It's a different environment than a lot of teachers have. I think it brings up a cool just a different viewpoint, a different way that she looks at it. She talks a lot about just really focusing on a very student-centered approach. I really enjoy her failure story and what she got out of that, because it really turned into a success, which I love, around feedback and how she was handling that with her students. I love that this was her first ever podcast and that we got to do that. We talk about, I think we say that all the time. Anytime we have someone who's the first time, like, we love that. It's one of my favorite things in the world. And we both agree that she was lying because she was way too good at this to be her first time. So we love Michelle. She's been connected to us for a long, long time. Ray, I know she makes you feel good when you go live. Like anything specifically that she said tonight that you want people to really latch onto?
I love Michelle, and there's so many things that she shares. I think her admitting that she has areas to grow in and kind of her reflection in that process is really important for us to listen to. Each and every one of us, myself included, we all know Jeff included, have areas to work on. And so whether it be in your classroom or maybe you have a personal goal you're working on, take this opportunity to say, hey, you know what? It's exciting that I have an area to get better in, and just continue to get a little bit better in that area every single day to really build up to what hopefully that goal is. So I love Michelle's story. Just enjoy the whole thing.
And with that, let's get to episode 252 with Michelle Kasun.
Hey, what's up, podcast? It's Jeff. Don't worry, I'm going to get you right back in the episode. But first, I want to introduce you to our Come Back Better packages. You know, COVID-19, the coronavirus pandemic, has really changed so much about how we live our lives, how we socialize, and especially how we run our schools and classrooms. As we begin to look towards the next school year, things are going to be different. But we can be better because of it. That's where our Come Back Better packages come in. These have been strategically designed to support you and your staff as you prepare for or manage things like preparing a growth mindset, preparing to close the learning gaps created by COVID-19 and school closures, restructuring curriculum alignment, continuing creating safe environments for dialogue and reflection, supporting an in-person or virtual or hybrid learning environment, and supporting staff and students whose socioeconomic status has changed due to COVID-19. We are here for you. These packages are 100% customizable to fit your staff, your students, your community, and your needs. Find out more at teachbetter.com/comebackbetter. Let's get back to the episode.
All right, we are here. We are chatting with Michelle Kasun. And Michelle, so awesome to have you on the podcast. We just found out that it's your first podcast ever. And Ray and I love being the first podcast ever. It's even more special because you are a Teach Better ambassador as well.
So that's yes, awesome. I am.
Founded ambassador, one of the original OG ambassador, as the kids would say. I guess I don't know if kids aren't cool. I guess, but super excited to have you here. I'm excited to dive into your story, learn more about you, and share your story with our listeners. But before we get too far into all that, how are you feeling right now?
I am awesome. I'm so excited to be here with you two. You two are two of my favorite people in the whole wide world, so I'm really excited.
Okay, this is awkward. I felt the exact same way when I saw that you were coming on the podcast. I was like, oh my God, Michelle, we're just hanging out. She's like one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Guys, you don't understand how nice it is. I love this podcast. It's so fun to introduce guests. But Michelle, when I see that you're coming on, I'm like, okay, this is where it's like we're all sitting on the couch with our feet up with a big cup of like hot chocolate, talking shop, hanging out, like relaxation central. I'm so stoked that you're here, Michelle, and we have so many things I know we're going to dive into. I'm excited to learn more about your story because we've been interacting with each other for years. So I'm like, ooh, what don't I know? You know what I mean?
Can we dive into that? I don't want to interrupt, but like we were talking before, Ray, and we're like, boy, Michelle's been like in our world for a while, but I can't remember like when originally. Michelle, when did you originally how did you originally connect with us? Like how long has it been? So I feel like you've been around since the beginning.
Forever.
Is that accurate, or am I just making things up? Which could be.
Well, it's been probably a couple years. I mean, whenever you guys started the podcast, I started listening pretty early on.
Was that your first like connection to us, or were you already connected to the team?
It's interesting because kind of the podcast for the most part, but previously,
so Ray and I can claim responsibility. That's awesome. That's
yes,
good.
You can. Yeah, there you go.
I do have to say though, Jeff, Michelle, you must have joined early enough because I remember going live with the team, and early on going live would make me very nervous. And I used to remember seeing your name a lot, like as somebody watching our lives, and there was some calmness when your name would come up being like, it's okay, Michelle's here. Like, so you must have been around. I mean, like we're talking like 3 years at least.
Well, you're looking at, the podcast launched in August of 2018. So it's been, we're coming up on 3 years here from that launch. So
all I'm saying, guys, is when you see Michelle is watching your video, your life gets easier. That's all I'm saying. Okay, we've completely derailed this conversation.
I took us completely off track. That is totally my fault.
This is what happens when we're sitting on the couch with our hot chocolate.
Just to be fair, we're responsible for Michelle being in our world, so it's all okay.
It's all okay because Michelle is here, and therefore we're fine. Okay, Michelle, for real though, because I have a question to ask you, and I'm going to try and ask it before Jeff interrupts again. I would love to have our listeners learn a little bit more about you. Clearly, Jeff and I are fully comfortable like talking shop with you forever. But in case this is a first introduction for our listeners to getting to know you, we'd love you to kind of answer that age-old question of like, hey, Michelle, what do you do?
Well, I'm a teacher. And I really like to just say that because it took me a long time actually to get my teaching career going just because of life. So I'm just really proud to be a teacher. I teach in a really super small private school in Oregon, multi-grade classrooms. It's kind of a one-room schoolhouse sort of type deal, but we have 3 rooms. And so people always ask me, well, what do you teach? And I have to answer it kind of everything depending on the grade. This year, though, I started working on my national board certification in early adolescent ELA. So that is my focus this year is middle school ELA. And then I also teach, just because I wanted to, I'm teaching a high school civics class, which is super fun also. And then I'm also a cooperating teacher with the local university here in town. So I'm mentoring a pre-service teacher right now in my classroom, which Ray and I have talked about on Vox. We've been voxing about that. And then, like you mentioned, I am a Teach Better ambassador, which I am super proud to be.
Okay, Michelle, that was a beautiful introduction, but I'm already interrupting Jeff. Too bad, Jeff. Hold on. I did not know the type of environment you taught in. I have to ask more questions because I'm assuming a lot of our listeners are like, wait, what? Tell us more. So what type of students do you have in your classroom?
Well, I have, so we have a total this year of 35 students from 3rd grade to 12th. And we've always been very small like that on purpose. We always have a very long waiting list, but we keep it very small on purpose because we are very intentional about a student-centered educational experience. So my biggest class this year is 12. is 12 kids, which is awesome because I can get to know each and every one of them and I know their families really well. And we are an ag school also, so very involved in 4-H and all the animals and whatnot that goes through with that too. So is that what you're asking?
That is what I was asking. And before Jeff asks a real question, I want to ask, can I come see your stinking classroom? Because that sounds so cool. I mean, I don't know that I've ever been in a classroom or in a school that's structured that way.
I would love for you to come see our classroom. It's really, it's super unique and super awesome. I just have to say.
Hey, Jeff, can Teach Better pay for me to go hang out with Michelle?
Yeah, we can figure that out.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Michelle, so you said your largest class is 12. What's your smallest class size that you have for you?
My smallest class this year would be 7.
Okay.
When I don't have my student teacher because she's teaching my science class. Thankfully.
You said what 30? You said 35 from K to 12.
Yeah, 3rd through 12. Yeah.
3rd through 12. Gotcha. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've actually early on. Probably about 3 or 4 years ago, Chad and I went up in Put-in Bay in Ohio, which is an island off of Ohio, like up on the lake, and they're like that. Everything's all one school, and same very similar setup where the teachers have a lot of similar roles where they're teaching everything to all of them. And I can't remember what it was, but it was somewhere. They might actually even be smaller. I remember specifically because we're going through the hall, like where they have all their class, like all the graduating classes, and like a lot of the older ones are like 5 or 6 kids, and actually the very first year they literally had one student. Just one student that just went like the first year of the school, like one student that graduated that year, and then they grew, but they're still really small. So it's cool to see that. It's interesting to see that kind of set. So that's a unique environment. I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And a couple years ago, we did. Was it 3 years ago? We did have only one graduating senior that year.
Well, there you go. So interesting. All right, so let's get into you teach a wide variety of stuff in a unique situation, and you're choosing to choose a couple different. You teach a couple different courses, teaching a high school course. Now you're focusing on your ELA and certification, everything, and you've done a lot. You've been through a lot. You've experienced a lot. So I'd love to hear your story around failure. So can you share a story with us about a time that you've struggled, you've had a failure that you've had to overcome? Kind of share us what happened, how did you overcome that, and what did you take away from that experience?
I've been listening to you guys forever, like we talked about, and so I've always thought about what how I would which one I would pick if I was ever on the podcast. I think I've decided on this particular one around feedback, because especially last year, so we only have 3 teachers, and we have 2 aides. So when I don't have a student teacher and I'm not working on my national boards, as in the last 4 years, I taught a lot of different classes and with a lot of different grades in each class, and of course, different levels, of course. So especially though last year, I was really struggling with feedback, and I can see people thinking, well, how could you struggle with feedback with only, 12 or 15 kids in your class? But with so many different classes, it was really a struggle for me. And I knew that it was, I felt like I was doing a disservice to my students because they need that feedback in order to improve. So since we are such a small school with such a small staff, they are also stretched. I love my colleagues, love them, but they are also stretched thin. And so we don't get a lot of time to just talk shop. So I reach out to, that's that's where how I came across Teach Better, is because I was just looking for something. I've been looking for everything, trying to figure out how to juggle all this. And so I came across this podcast, and I listened to it every morning on the way to work. And at one point you guys mentioned the grid method, and I was like, man, that sounds kind of familiar. And so I remembered that maybe a year prior to that, I had bookmarked something about the grid method and then had completely forgotten about it. I bookmarked it so I could go back and look at it, and then I completely forgotten about it until I heard it on the podcast. And so I went back and I started researching it, and this was last year then. And I was like, okay, I have multi-grades in each classroom. This is a great way for a self-paced way for them to, keep going on their own levels. And so I dove right in, and I got on the Teach Better Academy, and I took the free class. And then I was like, okay, well, I need more information. And so and then COVID hit. So shutdowns. We went on Zoom, and then I'm like, okay, this really has to happen because this would be perfect for this whole COVID shutdown Zoom school type of thing. So I put together, just based on my limited knowledge, some grids, and the kids loved it, and it was great. However, I still was struggling with the feedback piece. And so I realized after so this summer, then I took Chad's webinar in June on the grid method. I took Ray's webinar on the intro grids. We did the Teach Better networking event, and I took Ray's feedback breakout session. And through all that, I realized that my grids last spring during COVID was there was too much in them, and that's why I was struggling with the feedback still. It doesn't need to be so. I was trying to put everything in there like I was doing, which wasn't working before. So this year I have instituted the grids after learning how to actually do it, and my students love it, and I love it. And this is the first year that I have felt successful in providing timely feedback, because we can use the tracker and I can see where people are and what they need and when they need me. And first time ever, I haven't been completely slammed at report card time, trying to catch up and get everything graded and get the grades in time. And so I think I even tweeted about it. The first time ever, I'm not slammed. I can get report cards done on time, and I can still breathe, and I can still have my life. So my failure was the feedback piece, and I have turned that into success, mostly based on Teach Better. So thank you.
Wow. I love that. That's awesome. I love that you just continue to learn again and again and again, even when you kind of got the grids going and you got some good feedback from your students. You just went back to learn more and more and more, rather than letting seeing the lack of feedback or the struggle there being a deterrent and stop you. That's just awesome. And the fact that this podcast had anything to do with that is fantastic too. So that's super exciting. So let's flip it now. Let's talk about, and that really turned into success, which I like. That's like my favorite part of that failure stories. They always turn into a success somewhat, which I love it. But let's flip it and let's talk about a successful moment you've had in your career. Kind of same thing. Take us there with you. Share with us what happened. Why was it a success for you? And then what you took away from that experience?
Probably my most proud, the most proud moment I've had, also actually occurred last year, with one of my students whom I've had in my class since she was 4th grade. So 3 years. I had her 4th, 5th, and 6th. Last year was 6th grade. And I have her this year too, but specifically last year is what I'm going to get to. She has dyslexia, dysgraphia, executive functioning disorders since birth, and her parents are just rock stars. You know, they had her in everything, all the occupational therapies and things, Barton tutoring and everything to try to help her, succeed, which is what parents do. When she got to my class in 4th grade, she had been homeschooled, so I didn't have like an official 504 IEP for her. So I met with her parents, and I just asked them. I'm like, okay, what are you expecting? How do you want me to help her? What do we want to accomplish? What are the goals here? And they said, don't give her any special treatment. Expect the same thing from her as everybody else. And that's what they wanted to do. And so I said, okay, all right, that's great. So that's what I did. At 4th grade, when she came in, she was reading. I meant to look this up today. I believe she was reading at about a 1st grade level. It might have even been kindergarten. I can't remember. Very low. I do reading is a big. Obviously, I love ELA. So reading and writing is a big deal in my classroom, and so we always have DEAR, drop everything and read. We always have a big focus on reading, and so. Just through that encouragement and finding the books that would help her and not expecting anything less. I had to scribe for her sometimes, her taking notes. It was difficult, but that girl has grit. Let me tell you. By the middle of last year, she was reading at grade level. And when we did that, we used Dibbles. When we did that, and I saw that, and I said her name. I said, "You are reading at grade level," and you should have seen her face. I mean, she just lit up. She was just so proud of herself, and I was so proud of her. And I texted her mom right away, and I do not take the credit for it. I worked with her parents, and we worked as a team, and we got her caught up, and now I have her in 7th grade, and she's doing awesome as well. So that would be a success that I'm super proud of.
Such a massive success. Oh my gosh, that's a huge one. I know that you have such passion for supporting students, and whether it be the perfect example you just provided in your success story about supporting one student or just supporting all the students that you have in your career, I know you just are always carrying this incredible mindset of wanting to do better work, always wanting to reach your students more deeply. And it's something I so love and admire about all the work that you continue to do. But when it comes to the excitement that you have for education, the excitement that you have for the work that you're doing, what are you finding that really keeps you excited, kind of fuels your fire with the work that you're doing?
Right now, and I also instituted this year, is I love, and I'm really excited about the traction that standards-based grading is getting. Traction and attention. Also, this past summer, I met up with our friend Dave Schmittou, and I took his standards-based grading course, and he introduced me to the power standards and all these great things that made my life way easier. And so I have also instituted standards-based grading in my class. Now, my school doesn't do that. So unfortunately, I do have to convert them into letter grades for the report cards. But having the students see their learning as a progression rather than just do it and get a grade and be done has been so exciting. I just love seeing them like thinking about their learning and really understanding what it is I'm trying to tell them. And they're like, oh, this is really cool. And okay, well, I got a 3, I mastered it, but I really want to get to a 4. So how can we do that? And I just love helping them do that. We are actually planning to move back to the Midwest this summer. And I've been researching schools out there to see where I might want to work. And I came across this school that actually highlighted their standards-based grading right there on their website. And I stopped dead in my tracks. I'm like, really? Right there on their website? And I banged out a cover letter right then and there. So I'm really excited about that. I really hope that, that is a trend that continues, because I think it's really important, and a better way of learning than just shooting for a grade.
Oh, it's so exciting. And yes, I couldn't agree more with standard-based grading and this concept of really wanting to evaluate student understanding authentically. I think that work is so powerful. If you had to give one piece of advice to teachers during this episode, and I know that it's so hard to pick just one, right? Like, oh my gosh, one piece of advice, kind of your soapbox moment. What do you think your piece of advice would be for teachers?
My advice is to meet your students where they're at. I mentioned that we are really focused here at our school around student-centered learning. And when you can meet your students where they're at, that's a student-centered classroom. I get kind of irritated about all this narrative right now about learning loss due to COVID. And we need to remember that learning loss happens, pandemic or not, right? Kids go through stuff. Learning loss happens. And yes, it's on a greater scale right now because of COVID. But if we do our jobs and we just meet our students where they're at, we will just make progress from there, wherever they are. So that is my advice. Is just, yes, relationships, but we need to take a step further and meet them where they're at in their learning journey and continue them from there, and everything will be okay.
Michelle, I so agree with that. We can talk all day about how much was lost or if they're behind and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, right? We have to. Right. The only thing we can do is meet them where they're at and focus on progress, like you said. That's how we get that back, whatever it is. Whether we get it back as fast as we think we should, or numbers say we should, or whatever, it doesn't matter, right? It's where they're at, and that's what we got to take them from there to the next step, whatever that next step is for them. So I love that. Focus on where they're at, meet them where they're at, progress from there. So love it.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, let's keep it going. The next 6 questions I'm going to throw at you. Your goal is to answer each one in 15 seconds or less. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. What is one ed tech tool you cannot live without?
Adobe Acrobat Pro, for sure.
Give us a book you're reading right now.
I am reading Hacking Questions by Connie Hamilton. And then I'm reading again, Making Assessment Work by Dave Schmittou.
Who do you need to follow on Twitter or Instagram today?
Boy, this is a hard one. I'm going to go with Amy Fast, and she's at Fast Crayon is her handle. Taylor Armstrong at Taylor_does_it, and James Sturdivant, which is just at James Sturdivant.
What's a good YouTube channel, website, or podcast for educators to check out?
National Board has just started a podcast called National Board Conversations, and it is really phenomenal. And that would be for any educator, whether they're doing their national boards or not. Great stuff there.
Give us a daily, weekly, or monthly routine every teacher should get into.
I would say daily reflection on their practice and how it went that day. And absolutely exercise at least 3 times a week.
And what is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Sometimes you just got to play the game. That's from my dad. From my dad when I was, in the throes of algebra. I was like, why do I need to do this? Sorry, Ray. Why do I need to learn this? You just got to play the game, Michelle.
There you go. Hey, I get that. Hey, Jeff, sometimes you just got to play the game, okay?
I tell myself that every time we start recording together.
Oh,
I'm like, this again? You just got to play the game, Jeff. Just got to get through another one.
That's not true.
Here we are, episode 252. I'm like, just got to get through another one. Just got to play the game.
You see, Michelle, we're
keep
trying
Ray
to have
happy.
A lovely time. And look at him just like being a negative Nancy over there. Did you see that transition?
I did see that.
It's really sad that sometimes just people can't embrace the happiness in their life. It's really sad.
Embrace it, Jeff. Just embrace it.
That's some sort of weird assumption that Ray is part of the happiness in my life. Which
yes, that's what that was. I am happiness. It's fine.
It is, Ray. You are a happiness in my life.
Michelle, thank you for being the happiness in my life, because I just know that after a long day of school and everything in between, the ability to record this podcast with you was so stinking awesome. And I don't believe that this was your first one, because you are such a natural, sharing your stories, sharing so much insight. I want to make sure all of our listeners can get connected with you. So would you mind sharing your Twitter and Instagram?
Sure. Twitter is at Buckeye Girl with 2 L's. And my Instagram is at Buckeye Girl, also with 2 L's, but no I. And then I'm also on LinkedIn at Michelle Kasun, MAT.
I love it. You can find all the links and all the resources that we talked about in this episode over at teachbetter.com, as well as those really important links for connecting with Michelle and keeping the conversation going with her. So head over to teachbetter.com for all of that. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. And if you can give us a rating and review, we'd really appreciate that as well. And let's keep taking this just one step further. Think of just 3 of your colleagues who need to hear these amazing stories and connect with these amazing educators, and just share this podcast with them. Michelle, it is so awesome to just be connected with you in general. We absolutely love having you as an ambassador. You carry that title so proudly, so awesomely. We're so proud to be connected to you in that way as well. And now to be your first podcast is just awesome. I agree with Ray. I don't believe it was your first, but whatever, we'll take your word for it. I think it's your first of many, many, many to come, and I'm super excited for people to listen and then connect with you and continue to learn and grow with you. But thanks for taking some time and hanging out with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It was an honor.
All right. Until next time, let's get out there and let's teach better.